Hello friends! Welcome back to my blog where I share my daily work life and various earning schemes I use online. This is the amount I managed to earn using one simple strategy. To work with this strategy, I use this completely free signal indicator on the TradingView website. Now I'll show you how to find it and how I use it in my work. And I start my work process by setting up the broker's website. I enter the trading terminal. Here I set the candlestick chart type and choose 30-second candles. Then I add an indicator called SAR to the chart. As for the settings of this indicator, I use the standard settings. Here they are on the screen right now. The only thing I change is the style of the indicator so it's more noticeable for me. Then I go to the website investing.com and here I look at the economic calendar. I try not to make trades when news is coming out. And right now, I see that in 12 minutes there will be an economic news release, and I have a very short amount of time to open a few trades before the news comes out. The thing is, when news is released, volatility increases, and accordingly, I try to avoid such moments. But since I have time, I am now opening the TradingView website, going to tradingview.com. Here, I've already logged into my account. I am not buying anything here, so all I did was just log in. Here, I open the products and go to the supercharts. Here, I can open absolutely any chart, and the first thing I do is remove all the indicators from the chart. I'm doing this so that I can use two necessary indicators. The thing is, with the free plan, you can't add more than 2 indicators to a chart. And I actually need these 2 indicators. For the chart settings here, I only set a 1-minute candle time frame to receive signals for 1 minute. And now I'm starting to add indicators. The first one is an auxiliary indicator. He just draws the channel where the price is currently located. This channel automatically redraws itself according to its algorithm, and it shows which channel the price is moving in. The second indicator, which is now the main one, is the signal indicator. If anything, I'll leave the names of all the indicators in the pinned comment. I add the signal indicator to the chart, and after that, signals appeared on my chart. There are 2 types of signals, an up trade and a down trade. So, how does this indicator work? It gives a signal along with the appearance of a new candle. Recently, a new candle appeared, and we see a signal for an up trade. Accordingly, since the signals appear only with a new candlestick and have the greatest strength at the moment of emergence, and in the first minute, I can check how exactly the indicator is currently performing on the chart. Well, the last candlestick has not yet closed, so I don't know how this signal will close. Before this, there was a down trade signal, and we can see a red candlestick next to it. So, within a minute after this signal was released, the price continued to fall, and this signal ended up in profit. This way, I check about 10 recent signals, and at least, 8 out of 10 signals need to end in profit. In this case, I understand that the indicator is working quite well right now. So, for example, before this, there was an up trade signal, and we see that there is a red candle next to it. This means that this signal closed with a loss. And accordingly, this last up trade signal also closed with a loss. After it occurred, the price fell, so I will change this chart. This is specifically about the work of the indicator. Now I'm moving on to my work process. How do I work? To start, I open the broker's website, and here I choose any currency pair without the OTC mark. For example, there's a currency pair Australian dollar and Canadian dollar. I open this currency pair on the broker. Now I open this same currency pair on the TradingView website. I enter Australian dollar and Canadian dollar in the search. I'm opening the very first chart right away, and after that, all the necessary indicators are immediately loading for me. So here I have 2 options for working. The first option is this. I open the chart, and now I'm just waiting for a new signal. Before that, I check how the last signals closed. I see that in principle, the signals closed well here, so I can stay on this chart. So, the first option for working is that I simply wait for a new signal and enter a trade with the new signal. In this case, I only use one signal indicator. The second option for working, if I don't want to wait long for a new signal, I can enter based on the last signal if it still holds its strength. How do I understand this? To enter based on the last signal, 2 conditions need to be met. The first condition, for instance, we see that the last signal was an up trade. To enter an up trade, the SAR indicator must confirm that the upward movement is continuing and we should be below the upper boundary of the channel. Since one of the two conditions is not met here, I cannot open trades here. Accordingly, I will just have to change the currency pair now. What do we have? Swiss franc and Japanese yen. I'll quickly open this chart now. Swiss franc and Japanese yen. I enter this on the TradingView website, open this chart, and see what's happening here. When was the last signal? The last signal was an uptrade. I see that we are now below the upper boundary of the channel. And the SAR indicator confirms that we have an ongoing upward movement. So I enter an uptrade for 1 minute. I opened a trade for $430. Accordingly, if the last signal here was not for an uptrade but for a downtrade, then to enter a downtrade, the price needs to be higher than the lower boundary of the channel. And it's important that the SAR indicator shows that the downward movement continues. So there are these two options in this strategy. I either enter specifically based on the signal, or I enter if the signal remains strong. I'll repeat myself. If I'm watching the chart and see that a new signal has appeared, then in that case, I don't compare anything extra with additional indicators. I just enter the trade on the fresh signal. I entered the trade with $430. I use an amount that does not exceed 1% of my balance so that I can cover if necessary. That is, if this trade closes at a loss, then I just increase the amount of the next trade twofold. Now we see that this trade is apparently going to close at a loss and I will have to cover. Checking what's happening on the TradingView site. No new signal came out, but the SAR indicator started indicating a downtrend, so I will have to leave this currency pair as well. I open the next currency pair, Euro and Swiss franc, and see what's happening on the charts. I enter Euro and Swiss franc here and see what was the last signal we had. The last signal was a down trade. And it seems that the SAR indicator is still showing that the downward movement continues and we are above the lower boundary of the channel. So I will enter a down trade here. And if anything happens, I can already prepare to double it in order to enter the next trade with $1,720. That's why I use an amount that does not exceed 1% of my balance at the very start, so I have many attempts for covering. So I can close many trades in a row at a loss and then just cover all the losing trades with one trade and get back to my balance, plus earn a little on top. That's exactly why I use that amount. About 30 seconds remain until the trade ends. The price is going down. I hope that now my trade will close without problems and with a profit. I'll just recover my loss and, if anything, I can continue trading. A few seconds left. Let's check what's happening on the TradingView site. There were no new signals here and the downward movement continues. Therefore, I think it's possible to return the original trade amount of $430. Yes, my trade is closing in profit. I recover all my loss and take a bit of net profit on top. Here's the kind of strategy I use. Hope this video was helpful and interesting for you. If you found some new tools for yourself, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give a thumbs up. I remind you that I share everything here absolutely for free, so your engagement is the best way to thank me. Also, I remind you that on my channel I only show my personal experience. I do not give financial advice. See you in future videos.